Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Pet Business Owner Podcast. I'm Charlotte, and I have not hosted an episode in, just coming up to 2 years. I started the Pet Business Owner Podcast as a way of connecting with other pet professionals and talking all about social media. And in the last 2 years, my business has changed and things have happened. I stopped doing the podcast, but now I'm back with hay fever, but I am back. So this is just kind of like a recap episode. And I want to talk about an event I went to this week, well, yesterday. And I thought it would be a really cool way to kick the series back off, which at this point, I would like to mention that I am looking for guests. So if you think you're a pet professional marketing now, not just social media, that would like to come on the podcast, then please let me know and we can get that arranged. So, yes, what's happened in the last 2 years? So much has happened in the last 2 years. I've got a miniature schnauzer puppy. She's now 9 months old. Her name's Daphne and she's Brill. I started Canine Marketing Support, which is a marketing membership for pet professionals. That's doing really well. There's about 60 members now, so shout out to you guys. And I started that because what happened was I got so busy with pet businesses and helping with social media that I just didn't have time to help anybody else. So instead of like not helping everybody else, I decided to start a membership. So the membership is $16.99 a month. It gives you access to masterclasses, resources. You get access to 20 social media posts a month. So it's giving you loads of value for just $16.99 a month, which is a bargain. What else has happened? So yeah, so Canine Marketing Sport's doing really, really well. I've got a lot more coaching clients at the moment, which is really cool. I'm fully booked in terms of management, which is amazing. And yeah, it's just been an amazing 2 years, really, but just a busy 2 years. I bought my first house, I changed my car, and that's about everything that I think you guys need to know at this point. But yeah, so really glad the podcast is back. I hope you guys enjoy it. They're going to be like 20, 30-minute episodes because I know, when we're talking about marketing, especially, they're big topics to cover. And you can get bombarded really easily if I sit here and go into all the A's, B's, C's, D's, whatever, about how to do marketing or how to do a specific part of marketing. So in order to keep it as simplified as possible for you guys, I've decided just to do 20-minute episodes to talk about things that are really important that you can then go and action, which I think is really important. And it brings me on to my point about yesterday. I attended Atomicon for the first time ever, which was incredible. It was an amazing event. I went in there with no assumptions, no, what's it going to be like? Am I going to enjoy it? Nothing like that. I went in just thinking, you know what? We're gonna just see how it goes. And I very nearly didn't go because unfortunately my uncle passed away tragically 2 weeks ago at just 43. So it was a bit of a shock to everybody. But I'm glad I went because it was a really, really good event and it was great to connect with other business owners. It was great to see some phenomenal speakers who, this is my biggest sort of bugbear with some events, is you go to them and they are like telling you about their stories, which is great, but you don't leave the event knowing anything extra. You leave the event just knowing that, that person's story, which is incredible. But it doesn't really, Daphne sneezed in the background, it doesn't really give you the information to implement stuff in your own business, which if you don't get on with marketing or sales or anything like that, that could be really daunting, like you've paid all this money for a ticket and then you leave like feeling inspired, feeling pumped, but you don't have anything to action. So that's what I was really glad about Atomicon. I flew up to Newcastle yesterday morning. Not yesterday morning, because that was the event. Day before yesterday. I spent the entire day wandering around Newcastle by myself, hopping from coffee shop to coffee shop to get work done. And then finally, I checked into the hotel. I had a quick nap in the hotel because I was absolutely wrecked. I was in Bristol airport at 5 o'clock that morning. So I had a quick nap and then I went back out to get some dinner and then the heavens opened. Now, if you haven't been to Newcastle, then the size of the hills, through the city are quite something. So it was a real shock for me. Like the hills are really sort of steep, and what didn't help was it rained, and I had my Converse on, and my Converse weren't just like normal Converse. They're the ultra hikes or whatever they're called, and they are massive, like massive soles. So walking down the hill, I literally thought I was going to die, but I didn't. I'm here. So yeah, stayed in a hotel. Walked over to the Glass House yesterday morning, which is where the event's held. I think it used to be called Sage. And it was phenomenal. You know, when I walked in, there were loads of people on stilts. There was a surfboard machine. There was loads. And I thought at first, oh my gosh, I'm really overwhelmed because I go from working on my own and speaking to people virtually to like in-person events. And it is a big change. It's a big change for anybody. So this was a massive change. Yeah, but the overwhelm quickly left me because it was easy to get away from people if you wanted to. And yeah, I went to listen to the first speaker, which was Andrew and Pete, who run the event, and they are amazing speakers. Then it was Davina McCall, and I'm not from Davina McCall's generation, but the generation that watched Davina McCall. So I don't really know much about her, but she was really, really good and really honest. Then it was Jet Gottlieb. I think I've pronounced her surname right, and she was amazing. She blew me out the park with her speech, and it wasn't really like directed at business as such, but more about life. And I thought it was really, really good. You know, one of the things she spoke about was, what are you one of the people who in the morning like come up with this amazing plan for your day and pump yourself up? Or are you somebody who thinks about it when you before you go to sleep? And I'm definitely somebody who thinks about it before I go to sleep. So I found that session really, really good. And then there were many speakers throughout the day with actionable advice. So I've taken a lot from my membership, loads to share with you guys. So I'll trickle out information as the podcast goes on, and obviously on my social media channels, which are, because it's been a while, Pet Business Support and now Canine Marketing Support. So I have the two accounts on Instagram and on Facebook. So please feel free to give me a follow. And yeah, it was just an incredible event. So I really, really enjoyed my time in Newcastle, and it's left me with loads of ideas. And the one thing that I really wanted to talk about on today's podcast is something I'm posting about next week is in order to sell, you have to tell. So one of the things I see loads with pet professionals, canine businesses, whatever, on social media is the expectancy of your audience to know what you sell. And this doesn't happen. If you don't tell people what you sell, they're not going to just guess. And you can say, well, they can go to my website or they can check out my story or whatever it is you can say. But that's not enough for people to do. Like they won't, let's be honest, they won't do it. And I think being so transparent about what you sell or what you do or who you help is really important to A, align your audience to you, but B, that you've given people some reason to get in contact with you. Because if you are a dog trainer who specializes in reactive dogs, but you have not mentioned that, you've not mentioned your availability, etc., how am I supposed to know who to go to for help? So all these things sort of tie into my reason to sell before you tell. Sorry, tell before you sell, not sell before you tell. And there's loads of things that sort of contribute to that. So thinking of things that work really, really well when we're trying to sell. You know, it doesn't have to be buy me, use my services. You can subtly drop it into reels. You can talk about it on your story. You could do a post with your availability. There's no right or wrong answer. And I know it can feel really icky, is the word I'm using at the moment, where you like ick yourself out. You're like, oh, I hate this. And this does happen. But it's how you combat that and change that into, wow, I'm glad I sort of mentioned it, or glad my audience know what I do now. So it's about sort of building up the confidence to just go, I need to sell. At the end of the day, I need to make money. That's the bottom line. I need to help people that I'm passionate about or pets that I'm passionate about. And you need to tell people about that in order for them to use your services. So just, you know, subtly post about it or flat out post about it, whatever works for you. But yeah, lots of people, I see this all the time. They're like, oh, I'm not getting any results off social media. And it's like, well, what have you done? What have you done to achieve results? What have you told people about? Have you told people about anything? So thinking about all these things are really important, and there is a lot to think about when it comes to social media and a lot to think about when it comes to marketing your business. So I'm not sitting here going, oh, that was absolutely simple for you to do, or that was something that you won't find icky, because you will. But once you've done it a few times, it becomes a lot easier. So yeah, my main message in today's podcast is tell before you sell. Yeah, I said that right that time. But yeah, it's really important that you go ahead and do that and just make sure people know what it is you sell. So yeah, I think that's pretty much everything for this episode, like a Kickstarter episode. Like I said, I am looking for guests, so if you are open to being on it, I don't know how I haven't really thought about the logistics in my head yet, how this is going to work, whether it's going to be like just a monthly or whether it's going to be a set series and then next year. So once I have all this information in my head, I will of course share it with you guys. But I really hope you've enjoyed that first episode back. Welcome back to the Pet Business Owner podcast. I hope you find it really helpful. It was really cool to see that even after 2 years, I'm still getting downloads every week. So that's amazing. Thank you so much, guys. And yeah, I really look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Thank you.